tell me if everything's all good. I hope it is. I hope it is. Alright, I think everything's there. Awesome. So then, guys, welcome to the Polaris best of 9, there we go, between Robert Stinson and Beatty, aka TaToH and MbL. And yeah, we are going to be showcasing some new stuff on the stream here. And it's kind of all in a little bit of... it's kind of all in beta, I guess, at the moment. All of this stuff needs to be worked on and tweaked slightly. But before we introduce the players and before we look at anything about this series, we are going to cover the new things on your screen. You can only see 2 of them at the moment, but there will be a third thing coming up as well. So right at the bottom of the screen, you will see an APM counter, and this is a graph that updates in real time as the game goes on, detailing the APM of both players. So we're going to be able to get a nice little idea of who's on top in terms of APM. At the moment, it's pretty even with both of them sitting at about 40 APM, and that's going to be there throughout the game. Over on the bottom right on the mini map, you will now see a new overlay on that, and that is the heat map. And that is basically showing us again in real time where most of the clicks are taking place. So if there's a big battle, the chances are both players are going to be clicking away there, and it will highlight that on the minimap for us, so we're not going to be able to miss anything. Well, fingers crossed, we're not going to miss anything. Also, we've got in the top right, which is not visible at the moment, a feed that will show us any technologies that both players are researching. So the first thing we're likely to see will be Loom. And we will see it pop up on the right side. It'll tell us how complete it is, what time they researched it, and that means we will not miss any research upgrades as well. Now, the only downside, I guess, to this is that I cannot see the chat now, because this information feed is now replacing the chat, which I would normally be able to see. But hopefully everything's all right, and well, I'm sure Hannah can keep an eye on the chat and let me know if anything's wrong as we're streaming. So anyway, I'm really excited, actually, to see how this goes, as this is kind of the first time I've looked at this. It's only just been released, like, yesterday, I think, and it's just awesome. The creator, Happy Leaves, credit to him, obviously, but like I said just a minute ago, I don't know who Happy Leaves is, and I've got a feeling it's someone trying to remain anonymous, and they are a long-standing member of the community, but who knows. So anyway, TaToH versus MbL, 2 guys who should be reasonably closely rated, in my opinion. And I'm thinking that these games are going to be, well, hopefully a little bit back and forth. So over to the west of the map, in the purple, we've got Robert Stinson, aka TaToH. He's playing as the Mongols. And just across the way, across the little line of trees, we've got ourselves MbL. He's playing in the teal as the Vikings. So, Vikings versus Mongols. Non-mirror civs to start things off, which is awesome. And the map is Hamburger, made by the Prophet, the Czech map maker, the Prophet, who you guys have probably heard a lot from and seen a lot of his work as well. So this map is really cool. We've got a kind of a hybrid map here, and wow, would you believe that? Really early on there, MbL losing a villager. He tried to sneak through, get that villager through to the other side, but he was cut down by Robert Stinson's scout there, and you will notice that MbL does not have Loom, so that villager was absolutely toast in that little fight. But yeah, the map is pretty cool. It's a hybrid map. You've got, well, it's not even just a hybrid map. There's so much going on in this map. You've got the center wood line, which is so easily trushed. You've got the ring of water, which is, well, worth grushing. And you've got the outer layer, the outer edge, which has extra gold and extra wood on it as well. So we will start seeing players trying to transport out to the edge, but unlike Descent Ring and unlike other maps like that, there is wood in the center as well. So there are opportunities, to grab the wood there. It just depends whether it gets towered up or not. And that is a strategy that we've seen many times on this map, where one player will basically tower up the center like nobody's business and prevent the other person getting wood, force them out to the edge of the map, and really delay their grush. It's not even necessary that one player will grush. Obviously, there are big fish in the water here, and both players are going to want to get some of that fishy goodness. But there's not, huge amounts. There's not bucket loads of fish here. There is only a few few fish, and whilst it's worth gathering them, especially here for TaToH with his well, fish being right outside of his dock, whilst it's certainly worth gathering them, you've got to kind of balance everything together on this map, and you know, it's really awesome when you see players managing to kind of balance everything, juggle everything, and pull it off. So Robert Stinson here, you can see just researching the feudal age. That should be up in the top right of your screen. And even if we tab over to MbL now, you can see he's researching Loom. We can see that feudal age upgrade still coming in for Robert Stinson, and we can track that without even having to look at his TC, which is just absolutely fantastic. So we can see immediately that MbL here going to have a slightly slower feudal time, but he is the same population here. He's actually adding another villager in before he clicks up to feudal, but I'm a little bit concerned for MbL. Obviously adding in a 24th villager here, if we keep in mind that his scout is still alive. 24th villager, and for Robert Stinson, TaToH, he is already up to feudal, and he's taking that stone to start towering up this center by the looks of things. So both players also blocking off the little passageway at either side of this wood line here. It's worth doing that, otherwise you can get a sneak, as MbL tried to do, and that means that, well, considering MbL is one villager down from earlier on, he's made up for that by making an extra villager in the Dark Age. But still, I am a little bit concerned for MbL immediately here, because Robert Stinson going to be up to the feudal age first. You might notice as well he's not done Loom here, but that's because he wanted the faster feudal time rather than anything else. So a blacksmith coming straight up for him, which is interesting. At the dock, no galleys coming out, but I imagine we're going to see a tower coming up in the middle pretty soon, and there it is, straight away on that wood line. And obviously he can see full well where that wood is from MbL, and I only assume that this blacksmith is for fletching, so that he can actually get a bit of extra range on that tower, and so that he can actually do a little bit more damage as well. That tower's going to come up well before Mr. MbL even makes it up to the feudal age. He's on 80% right now, and Robert Stinson's going to have that tower up before he even manages to click up. So no counter towers here from MbL at all. Robert Stinson, TaToH going to hop inside, I imagine, and also doing fletching at the moment as well. We can see that's coming in, as well as Loom, in fact, just to make sure that once the counter tower, or if a counter tower comes up, MbL is not going to be able to kill his villagers too easily. So Loom completing there, and well, the feudal age upgrade is now done as well. Seems like our little stat program has frozen, unfortunately, which is a shame, as I was kind of hoping it would work, but as I said, it is kind of still a work in progress. But Robert Stinson, TaToH, going to keep towering up this center wood line here, and he is going to have 3 towers up by the time MbL even has a single one. I don't think MbL will even bother making one now. He is going to be forced out to the edge of the map, and it seems like our little thing did a little app did update itself. It froze for some reason. But if you notice here, the big difference is that MbL is up to 3 docks, and he's actually making some galleys immediately. He's actually adding in a transport as well to get his villagers out to the edge of the map as fast as possible, and making sure he can take wood, because at the moment, with 0 wood income, he is not going to be able to galley rush for long, and he will quickly be taken out on the water. So double bit axe is done for both of them as well, both of them really prioritizing that upgrade. And you'll notice as well that TaToH adding in a transport ship here, going to be heading straight out to the edge of the map to try and put up a lumber camp over there and make sure he has a really nice secure wood. I wouldn't be too concerned for him though. Not at the moment anyway. He does have a really safe center wood, but I am surprised that he's not adding any galleys yet from more than 1 dock. He is just doing a single galley, and that's all well and good. But yeah, seems like MbL here off to a bad start in comparison, and the only way he's really going to start pulling this back is if he can take wood control and stop TaToH getting out to the edge of the map and stop him from getting more villagers out here. However, it's kind of a bit late for that already anyway, as TaToH's already sent 4 villagers out there. He's already split his lumber up, and that is the primary, or the main thing at the moment. So down at the south, MbL starting to stick up his lumber camps as well, and that's Well, that's good. Obviously, he needs to get some wood here. And if we have a quick look at his lumber count, he's only got 80 wood at the moment. His galley production has come to an absolute standstill. And even his food income at the moment is looking a little bit bad. Obviously, not a lot of wood here in order to even build farms. He has got a ton of villagers taking gold, though, which I'm a little bit confused about. Not sure why he's got so many taking the gold at the moment. And over here on the right side, the first galley's starting to meet as well. It looks like Mr. MbL going to get a slight advantage there, and he might be able to pick off a couple of ships from TaToH as well. But you will notice here, TaToH's only got 2 fishing ships, and MbL only has 3. Neither of them really going all out into fishing ships here, because, as I said, there's just not that many big fish, and you kind of don't want to focus on the fishing as much as you want to focus on getting control of some wood in this map. So down at the south then, Mr. TaToH will find MbL's location. He's going to spot that wood down there, and he's going to be able to see exactly what's going on. Now, he might decide to put up a barracks and an archery range on the edge of the map, but at the same time, that would still be slightly risky. He has not got water control, and he really should consider getting water control before anything else. Now, over here, he's going to potentially lose that transport ship, which is quite a costly thing to lose. 125 wood, and that's no good anymore. Now it's sunk. Well, now it's sunk, I say. Well, he's not managed to sink it, unfortunately. On the mainland, TaToH getting up a barracks here, whilst at the south and on the right, they're just kind of scouting each other out. On this right side, the galleys not really going all out so far, but you will notice here that MbL doesn't actually have fletching at the moment, which is kind of a big deal. He doesn't even have, he does have a blacksmith, my bad, shouldn't have said that so soon, but he doesn't actually have fletching yet, and I think he's going to research that in just a second. We should hopefully see it coming in on our little feed, just to make sure it works correctly. A little bit of action going on in the right side here. These guys having a little scuffle on the water. Robert Stinson, TaToH clearly just bypassing these galleys entirely and looking for the fishing ships. If he can take them out, then he doesn't have to worry too much about holding the water control for now. Perhaps he can try and get it back later. And MbL getting a little bit comfortable on the water here, clearly, as TaToH takes down that new fishing ship that comes out. And that's kind of costly, that's very costly. I can't help but notice as well that MbL's had a few idle villagers this game, quite a few idols in fact, which is not good at all. You may have noticed he had an idle villager standing here for ages. He's also got an idle now behind his blacksmith, and he's still not doing fletching yet. I think perhaps putting it off for now to try and get up to the castle age, but it seems odd to me. He's taking so much in the way of gold, and I'm not sure what the plan is there. Clearly then, answering my own question here, to get up to the castle age. We have a quick look at trade. We could see it on the trade screen. Well, I don't think you guys could see it because it's not on your overlay, on the overlay. He spent 500 gold on buying food there to get up to the castle age, and this is actually going to give MbL an advantage up to castle here, but it's certainly an unorthodox way of doing it, taking 1,000 gold and then buying your way to castle. Very unorthodox. Meanwhile, TaToH is doing wheelbarrow now, and he's got a ton of farms up. He's not going to be long into the castle age himself, as MbL starts to secure a little bit more water control now. TaToH has no military on the water, just a single fishing ship, which is going to get taken out. But he's quickly transitioned here to the edge of the map to actually start making some archers and get aggressive on the outer ring. You can see as well that finally MbL is doing fletching as that castle age upgrade comes in. And I mean, if he can control the water here, it's not going to be too bad at all. If he can get War Galley upgrade done, if he can get Bodkin Arrow done, then he is actually going to be able to do a lot of damage from the shore. If he parks his boats here, he will be able to kill up quite a few villagers. If he parks his boats at the back, he'll be able to stop TaToH taking much wood. And that could actually put MbL back in this game, because at the moment he's certainly not in the best position. So TaToH on the left side then, those archers now coming out, and they are going to be heading straight down to this wood line at the south. But MbL quite cleverly walling it up already, perhaps expecting this land attack. And I don't know if he's actually been able to scout it. He's not seen a single thing, but that attack is going to get thwarted by the single wall. Now MbL back at home, going to be doing the War Galley upgrade, I feel, fairly soon, whilst Robert Stinson TaToH gets himself up to the Castle Age, but he might just lose his docks before he gets up to the Castle Age. And meanwhile, because MbL has that water control, he can just transport his way around any walls, and at the moment he is starting to do... Where are we looking? There we go. Starting to do some archers of his own here. Now at the south of the map, obviously, TaToH's going to be hitting a stone... Well, not a stone wall. Hitting it. Not even a brick wall. Hitting a wooden wall. But it's going to be enough to stop him from now. MbL just doing a bodkin arrow. And that is certainly going to give these guys a little bit more power on the water as well. As I said earlier, he might even be able to start hitting some villagers from the shore here. And, well, you can see he's already starting to position these guys around TaToH's base, looking for some kills where he can find them. But MbL, quite almost strangely here, bringing a couple of archers out to the edge of the map. Perhaps not too comfortable with these guys sitting outside of his wall, but two archers is not going to be enough to thwart this. And I don't know what he's thinking, sending just 2 archers down here. He's going to run into a fistful of archers from TaToH. But if he can kill this villager, that's certainly going to be pretty good. Bodkin arrow is done, as we know, and padded archer armor as well. I actually missed that one, surprisingly. You can see it in the history, though. Crossbows just coming in for Robert Stinson. That's about to pop, as well as bodkin arrow as well. And he is about to have, well, fully upgraded crossbows here on the attack, anyway. And breaking, well, he will be breaking his way through these walls pretty quickly, picking off some villagers as well, as MbL tries to defend down here with a siege workshop. I'm a little bit concerned for MbL at the south of the map, but like I say, on the water, he has got a lot of potential to do damage. However, we've got fire ships now coming out for TaToH. Just a couple of fire ships out on the water already, and he's going to be putting some more out there pretty soon. MbL, in comparison, is only just doing crossbow now, and trying to get up a mangonel at the south to push these guys back. So at the top of the map, he's looking to do some damage with these archers, but they are getting easily dealt with by the crossbows of TaToH. I mean, TaToH's looking great at the moment. Even though he doesn't have the water control, he's still looking great. He is going to take a little bit back on the water, thanks to getting the fire ships out. But at the south of the map, if MbL doesn't manage to get a good mangonel shot here, and TaToH has some magical micro, then maybe MbL's mangonel will not keep him out too long. He has stonewalled this up, though, so I mean, he will keep him out for a while and certainly buy himself a little bit of time. But I'm not seeing a second TC from MbL, and I'm not seeing a second TC from TaToH either. Both of them kind of fighting here for control of the land on the outer ring, rather. Perhaps Robert Stinson's going to try and do some more damage from the water. I'm surprised that we've not seen War Galley from MbL here, because that would give him an extra range on these galleys as well. Probably opening up quite a lot of possibilities to do more on the land, or from the water. But in the meantime, on the center, completely missing that earlier on, we've actually got a castle going up right there, and I don't know if MbL is going to be too bothered about the castle preventing him getting this wood in the center, but that is going to be annoying. I mean, that is going to start taking down these buildings. It's going to open up a possibility for Robert Stinson TaToH to push in later on. Perhaps if these pine forest trees get cut down, that castle is going to be annoying. But it's not like a killing blow or anything like that. He wasn't taking the wood in the middle already, so it's not a huge deal. So War Galley's finally coming in for MbL here. And that is good news, because, as I say, that might offer him some more opportunities to do damage from the water here. Whilst, meanwhile, TaToH's just not really building a second TC or anything like that, and I'm surprised at that. I thought he would perhaps try and do a little bit more on the edge of the map. There we go. Finally just getting a TC up. And, wow, horse collar. Just finishing horse collar is MbL at like 29 minutes horse collar. What's that about? On the right side, there we go. Mangonite coming through. And they are going to start picking off villagers from MbL. And that castle... Oh! Mangadai getting trapped. He's going to have to go back in and then hop out the other side. But yeah, totally forgot there. Sorry about these palisade walls. That's all that is stopping. That is all that is stopping TaToH from getting in. So the fact that he's still on just 1 TC on the mainland, he's just getting his second up now, doesn't hold too much weight. It's not really a huge deal because he's broken through to MbL's main eco here, his starting island, or starting land, and he can start picking off villagers pretty easily. Mangadai are pretty damn good, let's be honest, especially because they have a really nice firing speed. Especially because, you know, they're just on horseback. They're so fast. They're a great raiding unit. So padded archer armor is coming in for these guys right now. An elite skirmisher for MbL. MbL here, obviously trying to counter these with skirmishers. It makes sense. I guess pumping out crossbows against the Mangadai isn't going to be the most successful thing in the world. And on the water, surprisingly, TaToH's starting to pull back as well. He is managing to, you know, pick off a few galleys here and there, managing to find a couple of galleys to snipe with these fire ships. And, you know, fire ships aren't the best, but they will be able to do their job in small numbers and against small numbers. So whilst this is going on, up in the top left, we've got MbL here with these war galleys shielding his villager as he builds an archery range. But TaToH's got a bunch of crossbows here. He could kill that villager very easily if he wanted to. I think his attention probably more focused on the Mangadai and on coming through here to do a lot of damage. Obviously, for MbL, making a lot of skirmishes, easily countered by Mangonels here. And this Mangonel going to do a whole lot of damage as Robustness just does bloodlines as well to boost the Mangadai's health from 60 to 80, making sure that this push is as effective as possible. Obviously, not wasting any time with getting in there and starting to bring down this TC. He can probably just get a lot of shots in on that TC right now with this Mangonel if he wants to. And I'm really concerned for MbL at the moment. His eco is really not very strong. He's still only on the 1 TC and he's just lost a ton of villagers. The population at the moment is 45 eco units for MbL to the 56 of TaToH. And whilst TaToH is, you know, being pushed back from the shore by these war galleys in the top left, MbL's really not going to be focusing on putting units out from here, but rather defending his main base. Just putting up a siege workshop as quickly as possible. And that siege workshop perhaps going to be able to get out a Mangonel eventually. But MbL once again utilizing his market here. He's actually sold, so far this game, MbL has sold 200 food, but he's bought 1,100 food this game so far. He's been utilizing his market quite a lot. He's also bought 800 wood as well. So I mean, he has been buying a lot of resources from the market, and that's never an efficient thing to do. Mangonel just coming out though, and I mean, this Mangonel is either going to make or break this game for MbL. He has to land a good Mangonel shot here on TaToH, and TaToH just making it even more difficult for him now because we've got a castle coming up on the left side as well. And good job by MbL sniping both of those Mangonels, but this castle, if TaToH Robustinson gets this castle up, then MbL's in trouble because he's going to have to get his own castle up on the right side. And, well, MbL did not have a very good advantage starting with this castle here. So TaToH going to pick off a bunch of villagers with the Mangadai, and MbL is going to stay and do as much building work on this castle as possible, but so many villagers are just getting massacred here. Whose castle is going to go up first? It's pretty close. And MbL is just going to get his castle up. For TaToH, he should still be able to finish it. And there we go. He's going to hop inside there. And, well, the front section of MbL's economy is pretty much non-existent right now, as this castle is going to cause him a bunch of problems. Over in the top left, TaToH is still building up with these 2 TCs. He's keeping his crossbows safe. And, well, MbL is just not able to push in there easily. At the south of the map, MbL still not building his 2nd or 3rd TC. He's still sitting on the 1, and it doesn't look like he's going to be budging anytime soon. MbL just doesn't have the stone to build another town center yet, and well, his stone is now covered by the castle of TaToH. He's also got his gold as well, so MbL now in search of resources, in search of stone, in search of anything he can find, and it's just not looking great, is it? Let's be honest. On the water, well, we got a little bit of action with the fire ships over here as MbL tries to take him out, but the fire ships surprisingly doing their job. So what's that about? What is that about? You don't see that too often. Fire ships doing their jobs. What is this? Looks like both of these war galleys are going to go down. Oh, it's a close one. And TaToH looks like he's pretty much got water control at the moment as well, bringing down this watchtower, and it is GG. There's no question about that at this point, as MbL just has no other options available. You know, he was looking for something. He was looking for some, you know, alternative or some kind of strategy here that he could pull off, but ultimately he fell really far behind in economy. He did not have a efficient economy. He was utilizing the market a lot that game, selling 2,000 resources at the market. You know, that's not efficient. His efficiency was thrown right out the right out the window as soon as he lost the center wood and he was forced to the edge. He didn't manage to get up his second or third TC, and even though he had some water control, there wasn't the kind of winning factor of the game there. The winning factor of the game was this push from TaToH in the middle, dropping that castle on the wood, pushing through with the Mangadai, building that second castle, and MbL had no insurance at this point in time. You know, this section of his eco was just being destroyed, and there was no backup here. There was no second or third TC at the edge, and, well, quite rightly so. He couldn't really afford it, considering he had to get that castle, otherwise it would have been over even faster still. But there you have it. GG, and, well, TaToH is going to get game number 1, so pretty well played by him. And poor MbL. Hamburg is a difficult map, though. You know, it's an awkward map, and not a particularly good map for... what was I going to say? I don't know. It's just, it is a good map, but it's difficult. It's